So welcome back to my channel, and yes, the camera is right up in my face. Anyways, thank you for watching. If you're new to the channel, check out the rest of my videos. I do the best content. At the moment, we're pushing very close to 1,000 subscribers, but I think we should hit 1,000 subscribers probably in the next sort of 30 days or so. Depends on you guys. Anyways, depending on when you're watching this video, I may or may not have started doing 2 videos a week. But yeah, that's the plan, or maybe I've started it already, and if I have started it, then I hope you're enjoying it. If I haven't started it, then at least you know that's something to look forward to. I am going to start doing 2 videos a week. I think, you know, the channel has a lot of legs, and I get a lot of positive feedback from this channel a day. That's not including your comments, so make sure you leave your comments down below as well. Anyways, today I'll be talking about how your credit scores are judged. By the way, shameless plug, as you may or may not know, as part of one of my companies, JVceo, I offer a credit masterclass program where I go through your credit profile and I help you with a strategy to actually move your score forward. So if you need that, the link is down below in the description section. With that being said, a lot of people, a lot of my clients, they always complain, oh, there's not enough things online. I don't know how my credit is judged, so how can I even improve it? Anyways, this video will address all of that. How is your credit judged? That's the question you want to know, right? Keep watching. So it's important to point out there is not really one answer for that. The reason being, each different lender will have a different sort of criteria in terms of how they judge your profile. But as a rule of thumb, it's broken down into 5 different categories. The first one being your payment history. Your payment history accounts for around 30% of your overall profile. So, you know, if you are one of those that sees a late payment notice and you ignore it, then I'm talking to you. If you're one of those that have a CCJ because you've ignored it and it's gone all the way to court, you've still not gone to the court session, you've got it decided against you and now you have a CCJ, I'm talking to you as well. If you have, let's say, defaults, you know, you took out a credit card and then you stopped paying for it, I'm talking to you. This is all part of that section, that being your payment history. And for me, right, payment history, it's very easy to get ahead of. All you really have to do is put together a bill list and paste it where you see it every single day. It may be in your wardrobe. So these are parts of the things that I cover again on the Credit Masterclass program. So paste it somewhere that you could see it, because I think the reason why people miss their bills, obviously some people just don't have the funds to pay it, but mostly because, you know, they don't have no organizational skills and they, essentially speaking, just ignore it, and that's the reason. And for those of you that don't have enough money to pay, I will say to you, try not to take out credit that you can't afford, and also try not to put yourself in a hole when it comes to credit cards, because they're very dangerous. They could be your best friend but also your worst friend. The second part of how your credit is judged is your utilization / your debt ratio. Again, this is another big puncher. It accounts for around 30 to 35% of your credit. What's your utilization? I'm talking about your credit card. So if you have a credit card for £1,000 and you're blowing through that whole credit card every single month, even if you're paying it back in full, that will tank your credit 100%. Moving on from that, I'm talking about loans. If you have an overdependence on loans, that will tank your credit. That's another thing that, you know, counts to your debt ratio. So especially unsecured loans as well. It's different if they're all secured loans, like, you know, mortgages or maybe car finances. They're secured against that product. But if you have just general unsecured loans, you know, a fair amount of those is okay, but, you know, too much of those will tank your credit. And now, there is not one answer to how many is enough, because what's enough for my profile might be too much for yours, and what's not enough for my profile might be excessive for yours and overexposed for yours. But the point of this video is not to go into the very, very in-depth parts of certain things, because I think I'll just totally lose you lot, because credit can be quite in-depth. But the point of this video is to educate you guys on how your credit is judged, so that when you're looking at your credit in future, you can put on a fresh pair of eyes when you're looking at it. With that being said, I'm currently working, depending on when you're watching this video, I am working on a do-it-yourself credit program that takes you through the whole process of repairing your credit. It's going to be extremely detailed. It's going to feature some video presentations, PowerPoint presentations, FAQs, and so on and so forth. I've been working on it for a few months, but I've been extremely busy and I haven't been able to get it out when I wanted to. I wanted to get it out in July, but hopefully before the end of the year I should get it out, hopefully around October, maybe November at the latest, touch wood. Moving on, point number 3, in terms of how your credit is judged, that will be your credit mix, and this accounts for around 15%. And you're wondering, what is my credit mix? What is the right credit mix? Again, there is no right or wrong answer. This is where I'm speaking from an experience, or from a wealth of 8 years experience in the credit field. So, you know, it's easier for me to just sort of, it rolls off my tongue. Whereas, you know, for someone who doesn't know much about credit, they don't know what the right credit mix is. Credit mix, again, varies. And by the way, what is credit mix? Credit mix is the combinations of the accounts you have on your credit profile that will determine 15% of your credit. So if you are suffering in this section, it may be that your credit mix is all the way wrong, because maybe you're showing over dependencies on certain types of things. So that's that. Moving on from credit mix, we'll go on to point number 4, which is the age of your credit history. The age of your credit history is extremely important. The best way to explain your credit history is, or the age of your credit history is, when you apply for a new job, your new job always asks your old employer for a reference, right? Because then that depicts the sort of worker you are, how diligent you are, how good a job you do, or how bad a job you do. That's the whole point of a reference. Your credit history, the age of your credit history is exactly the same. That demonstrates how well you've treated other creditors in the past, how well you've managed your accounts in the past, you know, how many of those accounts were settled positively, how many of those accounts has some sort of an apostrophe to it. And that's the whole point of the age of your credit history. That section there accounts for around 15% of how your credit is judged. And now on to the 5th and final point, new lines of credit. New lines of credit. New lines of credit, essentially speaking, is how credit dependent are you? How many credit applications are you making within a specific time period? And as a rule of thumb, I always recommend not taking out more than 2 credits, you know, every 6 months, or in fact, not even doing more than 2 hard searches every 6 months. Anything more than that would make you seem as though you're extremely dependent on credit and you're just going every single place hunting for credit. So new lines of credit accounts for around 10% of how your credit is judged. Again, depending on how you use all this information, you know, you could definitely accomplish huge leaps in your credit profile. If you need any additional support, then I would say get onto the masterclass. It takes all of this points into a lot more detail and, you know, covers it in a lot more depth. But so yeah, that's that from me anyways. I thought I'll share that with you guys because I do get quite a lot of questions on it from incoming clients, but also just from random people. Oh, I know you do the credit stuff. How is your credit judged? Because I can't find anything that is applicable to people in the UK. So there you go. I've given it to you guys. You could call it a secret, but it's not really a secret. But I think people just don't know. People might have 40% of it, but not the other 60%, or vice versa. Well, now you have all 60%. So anyways, that's how your credit is judged. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I look forward to getting you guys to tune in on my next video as well. And you have a great day.